Hi, folks, and welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
I'm Benjamin. Saturday morning isn't complete if I'm not a karate kid on the beach.
Oh, that sounded pretty good.
That was not good, but
That was actually
came
pretty
out.
good.
No, it was like,
Was it?
you are the man. Or I am the man.
I am the man.
Man, let me tell you what. Finishing Cobra Kai season 3 makes me feel like the man. Holy.
Now that we're recording this probably a week ahead, and today, as I'm recording this, I got a message on YouTube saying, "Hey, are you going to review Cobra Kai season 3?"
Yes. Just as I had asked you this late last night when we got more than halfway through
we're doing it now.
The third season.
We're doing it now.
Because we couldn't stop ourselves.
We're doing it now.
And so we're doing it now after we've just finished it.
Just
we walked from the living room
ago,
to here to record.
Here we go.
Right now.
It's on.
And wow. I loved the finale, I'll tell you that right off the bat.
Let's go off overall. First off, Aisha's gone.
Aisha's gone. Never came back.
Spoilers.
Lots of them.
Everything's spoiled here.
Yeah, all the spoilers. So Aisha's gone. Never came back. She had 2 sentences of written off, sort of like Allie did
2 sentences,
at the beginning of Karate Kid 2.
And she's written off in the first episode.
Just gone.
It was a good idea for a character, but she just never felt right. I hope they don't bring her back. They might, but I just don't know. They said they didn't have much story for her, but the thing is, they didn't have much story for Robbie either.
Look, there's a lot of stew in the pot right now, as is. If they bring her in, it would almost like be an injustice because they have so many other good things going.
Now let's talk about a few things, because there's not that many things we dislike. So let's get those over the way, because there's a few things. There's a lot of things we do.
There's certainly some things that bubble up to the surface really quickly.
A few. We have to take a breather from the big action scene we saw in season 2, but that was the finale. But they act like that was an episode, and you're binge watching 3, and you have to breathe from it. We don't have to breathe anymore. It's been a whole season.
You're right. That's a good way of thinking about it.
And that's what they were doing. They were breathing, kind of setting things up again for the next time. And I get that, but we don't need that because you're a new season. You need to get off the gate with all engines blasting now, especially because you're season 3.
Yes,
you need to up your game.
So for the first 4 episodes,
I have an idea.
Season 3,
I have an idea because later on they do go to Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So maybe to get the save cost, the first few episodes are a little flat.
You think
we're saving money,
sort of like in Star Trek when they would do a bottle episode because
we spend our money wisely.
They spent their budget on something else. That makes sense.
It makes sense now. Now that I see it as a whole, I'm able to get a broader spectrum of what, because you only have X amount of money.
You didn't have any new sets. You had a lot of product placement, which we got a kick out of. Actually,
I do not mind product. But
no,
I
don't either.
This.
But I think it's great.
Product placement.
We got some RC Cola coming back.
By the way, I drank RC before it was cool. I just want to know that because right now that Cobra Kai 3, there's a lot of things that I like about Cobra Kai 3, but them making RC Cola their official drink.
Yeah, the cool kids.
Now cool kids will be drinking RCs.
Yeah,
because in high school, especially in California, all they drink is RC Cola. At least Cobra Kai 3 told me that.
Oh man, clearly.
And so if you want to be cool and you want to be part of Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do Karate or Eagle Fang Karate, which I do, buying the T-shirt.
We already looked up how much the T-shirt costs for Eagle Fang Karate.
Yes. $20 free shipping.
Yeah, nothing to it.
I can't wait. But anyway,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So those right there, that tells me. Right there, that tells me that they were spending their money wisely on.
You're probably right.
Different sets, so I don't mind as much because I can't fault them for that because you remember at this point they were still on YouTube, and they had limited money. Where next season,
even for season 3, they were on YouTube's budget.
It's YouTube. Red.
It was YouTube
Red.
Red.
Think.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it was because
did they not have Netflix money for this season?
No. Okay. They sold the season to Netflix completed. This was YouTube show.
Okay.
So YouTube had to.
Well, not like YouTube was hurting for cash. They're owned by Google for crying out loud.
Well, I know, but they deal within. They have to deal within their own budget.
Sure.
And so I think season 4. Well, anyway, we'll talk about our expectations for season 4, but. Anyway, there were two things I wanted. One I got. One I didn't necessarily get, but I'm getting next
You
season.
are going to get no matter what.
I'm going to get it. And that's fine. I remember the season 1 checked every single
do
box.
we want to cover what we didn't want? Like, just
oh yeah. I'm sorry.
The first 4 episodes were just a
little slow. Not. There's some good stuff in there.
Because to be fair, like, and for people that don't realize, like, YouTube Red started with it, which is a Google product, and no one saw this. Like, we watched this on day one.
We were watching it YouTube Red.
We subscribed to
season
that,
1, yeah.
And you came over to my place, and we went crazy for it.
Anyone who's been watching this podcast knows we've been watching it.
So we've seen it 3 years, and then
we've
Netflix
had to wait
bought
2
it.
years for this friggin' season 3, where everyone else oh, I had to wait a few months. Oh, piss on you. But anyway, we watched season 2 together. We were enthralled.
1 and 2, and now 3.
We've watched all together, but we watched season 2 together. I remember that night.
Yeah.
And I think there was some other. Oh, my wife had some of her friends over, and they just started. They only watched the last 2 episodes, but they were into it too.
And then, but she really, like, Megan really got into it as well.
Oh, Megan and Megan said that this was something that she thought she was
owned
not
up
going
to
to
it.
enjoy.
She's like, I got to watch this with these guys.
And to be honest, we stayed up late last night watching 6 episodes. We watched
6 last night.
And the missus usually falls asleep by then, but she was wide awake. She did not fall asleep there, and it's hard to keep her attention.
It wasn't hard to convince her to watch one more.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
She was the deciding factor on how many we got to watch. If it had been 3, I'd been fine with that.
Yeah.
But we got to watch 6, which is great. But the thing was, she kept going because she was interested.
Yeah.
And it's a good show to keep her attention.
This is a mark of a good show, though, because we set out twice in this podcast alone to talk about the things we didn't like, and
here we're going
pivoted
back
again to things that we do like.
So because the list is so short, all right. So we forgave the slowish.
The slowish ending.
There's some good
rough.
stuff in there, but
there's definitely good stuff. But
anyway,
it's not. It's forgettable comparatively.
They took Robbie out. We think that maybe he had some other projects
going
on.
New haircut,
and because he has new haircut, he's brown. He's not. He dyed his hair brown. But
so he's gone for the majority.
My wife looked at a movie that had come out recently.
Oh, I see.
And he had dyed his hair brown for that movie.
Oh, okay.
So what she's thinking
that makes
is
sense, and
he
good for
probably
him.
took the movie role, and then they had to write his character because Robbie's hardly in it till the end.
Yeah.
And Robbie is the weakest actor of them all.
You think
but
so?
Not the most boringest. The most boringest goes to Sam LaRusso. Don't like her. Don't like her. I mean, now with Aisha out of the picture, she is the weakest link. And Robbie, not really in the season that much.
Yeah.
Now Sam's terrible, plain, vanilla character. I mean, when Tori outshines you.
You're right. I mean, Tori's good. She's got a good.
Tori was
angsty,
a one note villain girl.
Yes,
that was her purpose.
Yes.
And by the way, another theory I came up with: they didn't like how Aisha was the arch nemesis for Sam LaRusso. They didn't like how that was pulling out. So Tori's created in season 2 to see how it looked, and they liked how that matchup looked better than Aisha versus her best friend.
Okay.
So then they decided, Aisha's out, Tori's in.
I could see that.
I think that's what they were doing because they just didn't like the dynamic. They thought it needed to be a little bit better. And so I think that's why Tori was created. Now Tori's doing her character, which is her. I mean, she's taking what she's given because she's working for a living.
Yeah.
Okay. But Sam LaRusso is not so good. And in fact, the scenes with her are the worst.
How old was Ralph Macchio when he filmed The Karate Kid?
The same age Sam is now, probably 20-something. I don't know.
I mean, do they seem like they're in their early 20s? But it makes me wonder.
That's the other thing. I mean, I can't fault them for that because whenever we film kids, and you get delayed to 2 years in between seasons, whatever, they shoot up. Those two little kids in season 2 are like
the little shrimps are totally grown now, right? Well, I mean, I don't know. I always struggle when I see movies like The Karate Kid and from the 80s and the 90s, and you see kid actors that are very good. And like the kid from The Neverending Story, like he's got a cheesy script to work with, but he does it, and it's good. There are so many good examples of movies with kid actors who are amazing to watch and really pull your heart out.
Agreed.
And then you get casting like this sometimes, and you're just like, can we get on with it? And I said at some point tonight in one of the other filler, I feel like, episodes, that if we were sitting in a British theater right now, someone from the crowd would heckle them and say, get on with it, because we know what they're all going to say. It's very cookie cutter dialogue for a lot of these scenes with the kids. But you know what? The dialogue changes, and I feel like there's an entirely different writing group or team or thought process that happens when you get Johnny and Ralph in the same room together.
I think I know what it is.
And you get Kreese in there.
I think I know what it is.
And you've got history.
That's the thing.
It's the history.
Their characters have already been established. You know how to write them. You created new characters, and you're trying to find their direction.
But here's my argument to that then. The Karate Kid is a less than 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
2 episodes of this show are basically 2 hours. 3 episodes, you put them together, and you've got 2 hours.
Yeah.
That should be enough for us to care.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's been the end of the 3rd season. Half of those kids I don't care anything about at all.
I like Hawk. I've always liked Hawk. Ethan, what Ethan Hawk? I don't know. But Hawk, I've always liked him. And I've always liked,
spoiler: Ethan Hawke is in
this. Miguel.
Eli.
I've always liked Eli. Eli and Miguel have always been good for me.
Yes.
I've always liked their turns. Yeah. Everyone else, they kind of play their role and they're done. Robbie, I've never liked. His character just didn't. It was just faceless. And Sam LaRusso was protected because she was surrounded by Miguel a lot, and Miguel's strong acting. And
Miguel has some really good acting chops. He speaks a little too fast sometimes, but I think he's bilingual and maybe speaks some really fast Spanish and some really fast English. And so sometimes he rushes through his lines, but otherwise, he is believable.
Yeah, no,
for the most part.
I like
the rest of them. I'm watching a Saturday morning special, and this is terrible.
A point that you made that I like, because I made the joke several times that here we are, the love triangle. Now Sam LaRusso, who was in love with Miguel, then in love with Robbie in season 2, and now in love with Miguel again. Okay, and I was like, oh my gosh, it just keeps flip flopping. Anyway, and you said that's teenagers, and you're right. High school is like that. And even though to me, I have to roll my eyes when I see the script flipping again on these girls, and the girls are so indecisive about what they do, and Tori the same way, and she hates Miguel. She told Miguel, whatever, screw you. Then she's like, oh, he was with another woman? Well, wait, you said screw him, but that's you said, Matt, remember?
I called you out and said high school.
And that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
So for those, as aggravating as that is, it is high school.
Yeah, and it's fine. I even
that.
Believe that. Like that, I can accept. I can accept the changing loyalties and the flipping of the scripts and everything else. Fine. That's okay. But don't make it so boring. Like, it's just... you can change allegiances all day long, but when the lines are delivered from a wooden box, and then some of the choreography, not the fight choreography, but just the way the director puts them in a box and says, okay, say all the lines. And there's no camera change. There's no nothing. They just stand there and they kind of sway back and forth like they're on stage, and they deliver their line. And I'm like, what's happening? You can do anything with this, but see, but then again, this is what I'm talking about. With the writing with Kreese, even the camera angles with Kreese, you have these weird skewed camera angles. They play him close. They play him always. I don't know if you noticed that Kreese, almost every single one of his scenes, especially when he's sitting down, is always at a weird angle. Yeah. And he's messed up, man. And that's a little bit of a deliberate choice that they're doing that.
It's the Batman 66 thing where the villains are filmed at a crooked angle because they're crooked.
Yes,
that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
There you go. So
but they don't do that when they need the kids, and if they do, I haven't even noticed.
Because the marquee characters are what they really care about. Even though they're trying to get new blood in there to get new people to watch. I mean, to be honest, if we were writing the script, we do the same exact thing. We would think of all the awesome scenes for the other ones, but you have to get the younger things in there to pitch it to them. You got to pitch it to the producers.
Right.
You got to get younger people in there too. So, but they don't want to write the younger people that much. So they just kind of write them with some little scene. Because sometimes they can come up with good story curves.
You're right.
But then they really focus on their favorites. But truthfully,
the reason that you and I are watching this is because of the original.
That's why a lot of people are watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go with this. Okay, done with bad.
On to
John Kreese, amazing. We've said this a million times.
I've been so surprised with season 3 too. Like he comes in with the most amazing entrance ever at the end of season 1, lighting that cigar.
That was a fall off your couch moment.
Punched us in the face right off the bat.
I had no idea. There's never been a better ending.
It was fantastic ending to season 1. Season 2, he was a little stiff. I felt like he delivered a lot of his lines kind of wooden. He wasn't quite in his groove, I don't think, yet. Maybe he was shaking some of the rust off.
I don't know, because remember, he's playing a beaten, defeated man.
He was.
So I don't really know.
Do you think they might have changed that character midway through writing it, and that they want him to be?
No, I think they wanted him beaten and defeated and humble, and then slowly kind of grasping his way to power.
Yeah.
But season 3, yeah, you're right. He's on top of his game.
He's on
here,
top of
and
his game.
he's nailing it. They have a little bit of a Kreese backstory, which is really good.
Fun.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil. That's a big spoiler.
Given
there.
your love for Karate Kid Part 3,
I do.
Here, I'm going to let you have all of this. You
No.
go right ahead.
Well, Silver is in 3. He's going to be in season 4. Honestly, is
Terry Silver.
By the end of the series, he calls Silver. You know he's going to do it. They only call him Silver once.
I know, just
though.
one quick
Because
thing.
they don't want to give away too much.
And this leads me to my favorite part of what season 3 has been so far, because for the super fans, we knew, expected, and wanted certain things to happen.
Yeah.
When Daniel goes to Okinawa, I said, man, if some ice blocks show up and they do some karate chopping through there, I'm going to just lose it. And then they teased me, and they did a close-up shot to set up when they were at the bar with
we'll go
Kumiko.
ahead. No,
and then
let's go back.
Okay, sorry.
Those are your favorite episodes.
Oh my God.
With Kuniko and Chozan.
Yes.
Karate Kid 2 to you told me this. I was shocked.
I did.
You said you like it just as good as the first one.
Yes, I do. And
the first one barely winning.
Here's the thing. If I had to rate them, I would put Karate Kid Part 1 above the second one. Probably just because of the sequel curse,
Okay,
Second one's not ever quite as good because it's not the original, but with the few exceptions. But honestly, like Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 2 were on the same VHS tape that I had growing up. And so I watched them the same amount, and I loved them both very much the same amount.
And that's the thing. You have good memories watching it. I didn't watch it as many times as you did. I only saw the first one a billion times. I saw the second one as a kid once.
Really?
I think only one kid had it on VHS. So whenever we were there, we'd watch that one.
Time.
But everyone had it on VHS, the first one.
Yeah, you're right.
But see, you also have good memories because you and Brad would watch this, and y'all have a lot of funny quotes from that, and y'all joke back and forth. Karate Kid 2 is
all the big quotes for Karate Kid 2 I have.
You have.
The Miyagi, you fight! Like, Sato was my favorite. I just loved listening to him. Miyagi!
Not good for tree. There's some great lines
all
there.
of Miyagi's great one-liners.
Right,
I quote just as much from Karate Kid 2 as I do from Part 1. Absolutely.
They bring the LaRusso car dealership storyline back in from
Can't believe
season 1.
Karate Kid 2 only has a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. You people are crazy. Go back and look at that again.
But anyway, so to bring that, you don't have to. The dealership's not what it's about. They just set that up to show that he was successful and Johnny was not. I don't care about ultimately. The success, the rise and fall of the car dealership is a backstory.
Nobody cares.
As a prop, you don't need it now, but they use it to bring Daniel back to Okinawa. He has to go to Japan because he's about to lose his license, his car license. His competitor's getting it, which there is a competitor. This was set up from season 1. They decided to bring it back, or I say decided, probably had this written out. It seems like they really thought this through. I really do think they thought I don't think they're making it up by the seat of their pants.
Well, no, because you remember Okinawa in the first movies was in California, and so they had to budget for actually going to Okinawa this time. So they don't do that you don't do that by the seat of your pants.
No,
nowadays.
you don't. And so they wanted to go back and do some honor to season 2. The only thing they'd done with season 2 was mention it at the very second episode or whatever in Cobra Kai. I think Daniel says he got those when he and Mr. Miyagi went on a trip to Okinawa.
They brought up the bongo drum a couple times and everything.
So all that stuff's been brought up. But now you're getting to go there, okay? Yeah. And he's trying to get his car dealership back. He gets turned down respectfully. He's not going to get it. So now his very life being is in danger, and he's having a drink at the bar, reminiscing over Mr. Miyagi. They're showing old pictures of them together. And I think some of those pictures, because in real life, Pat Morita and Ralph Macchio were good friends. They stayed friends. Yeah. And so I think some of those pictures I don't think were from Karate Kid.
I think
those
are
from his personal.
Those were new stills I had never seen.
Yeah, there were some pictures there you never seen, but it was obviously them.
Yeah.
I don't think it was
clearly.
photoshopped at all.
It probably were. It's like scanned in.
It seemed like that was them
on
meeting up and having lunch together or something. So that seemed to be fun stuff. And so I was like, it was good to see those pictures, but then the guy says, well, in Japan,
it's like, what an American way of thinking, right?
No one really dies,
no one's gone. You can say hello to anybody.
Okay, so, and then take it away, sir.
So, like, episode 5 was far and away my favorite. And I was thinking, what a heartbreak it is that Mr. Miyagi can't be here to reprise this role.
It is terrible.
But you're anxious and you want that so badly in season 1. And by season 2, you've kind of accepted it. And then season 3, you kind of forgot about it. But then they're like, if we could have, because in episode, was it season 1 when they had the fisherman and he was fishing and he looked like him, he was wearing the same outfit, and I cried during that little moment too, because they were like, if Miyagi were alive, what would he say?
That's also the scene of him going to his grave and talking to him.
Yes, exactly.
Which is a good scene.
And that was wonderful too. And that's what they would say.
Season 2, they moved away from it.
Yeah, they completely left it alone. They were like, okay, we did our little tribute to Mr. Miyagi. And that's what I loved, is like, if he were here, what would he say? And they had the fisherman deliver those lines for us. It was a very Miyagi line. I forget what it was, but it's exactly the kind of wisdom that Daniel needed.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, let's revisit that again. And they did it in such a heartfelt way with the love letters that he wrote to Yukie. And
which is a joke at the end of Karate Kid 2.
Yes.
She said, will you write now?
Will you write to me now?
Because Mr. Miyagi kind of skipped out of town.
Yeah.
Lad got cold feet and ran.
Yeah, he thought she was going to get married to Sato.
Yeah.
And he never wrote her. She says, why you never write?
And he says he will write. Yeah. And so we find out now.
And sure enough, he's been
writing for years.
He kept his promise.
Love
and so
letters,
they found
poems.
This wonderful, lovely way for Mr. Miyagi to speak from the grave and to deliver this wisdom that we all love and adore, and had.
So he meets Kanaku.
He meets Kumiko.
Oh, wait. First off.
Oh, okay,
how's the village?
Oh, so Toby Village. Take me to Toby Village, and he has all these flashbacks, and it's all green and beautiful.
The town that time forgot is what they show the flashback.
And it's a mall. It's a straight up Americanized shopping mall.
It is more up to date than our town.
Yes.
I mean, but then this is where all the product placement comes in, which they have to pay for the trip. And I don't mind that. That's when we said, because there's a Red Lobster.
Great.
But we were laughing that there's a Red Lobster there.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know? I loved it. And then he meets Kumiko again, and he has this reunion with her, and she's overjoyed to see him, and I'm overjoyed to see her as a viewer, and it's lovely.
You've got a great line.
Did I?
Yeah. So you can't tell me that you've not one man.
Yes, there had to be somebody between then and now. Yeah. And she says, "Well, no one ever fought to the death for me." So, like, how do you follow that up?
That's
right?
true.
You can't. True. That is a brilliant.
If
line.
you don't understand Karate Kid 2, they had a fight to the death. It was great.
And
it was great.
You know, he won the girl because this guy was trying to kill him, and he fought to the death.
Okay,
but then he meets her, and she has this beautiful moment with Mr. Miyagi's letters, and then you have this. I was just crying. I'm trying to hide it from everybody.
Now the story is it's the letter the week he died.
Yes,
it was one of his last letters sent to Kuniko.
Yes, and there's all kinds of good stuff in there.
And so it's a great thing because it reads like Mr. Miyagi could have read it.
That's my point.
And
if he were here, this is what he would say.
Yeah.
And if he were alive, they would have written a scene for him like that.
He says something really pretty to her.
Yep.
And then he talks about how he loves Danielle and has been Daniel's son. Daniel's son's invited to his family. Sam feels like his own grandchild.
He has purpose now.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi has purpose now. He felt lost he felt lost.
Yeah.
And then Daniel's the one who brought balance back to his life.
And
Daniel didn't realize that was symbiotic.
I forgot to mention, he starts the letter by, all I have to do, I'm in the hospital, don't worry, I'm all right. All I do is watch TV and think about old friends with him. So then he starts thinking about old friends, and at the end he gives a beautiful quote. He said, "Do you like that? I got it from a car commercial." And it's Mr. Miyagi.
Yes,
it's Mr. Miyagi.
It's what he would do. Exactly
it's
right.
A little bit.
And honestly, like he would probably, like, Daniel would have come slumped over and said, "Mr. Miyagi, I can't do it," whatever. And then Miyagi would have looked off in the distance, and he said, "My true love, let me tell you about my love and what I did," and all this. And they would have played out almost the exact same way if he were alive today. And it was just perfect. It's perfectly written. And truthfully, like I was telling you this a little bit earlier, that and the people who listen to this podcast know that I watch a lot of Star Trek, and it's typically my bedtime story. And
we've talked about this. You go to night. You go to bed every night.
I go to bed almost every night with Star Trek playing. Well, one of the Star Treks. I'm on DS9 right now.
Oh, okay.
And which, by the way, like Quark is slowly being supplanted, or slowly becoming my new absolute favorite character. Armin Shimmerman is like beating everybody up.
It's the reason Deep Space Nine.
He and Avery Brooks are unbelievable. I finally
decided that Deep Space Nine is beating Next Generation for me because
of Quark and Cisco.
I love Cisco. I love Quark. I love every episode that surrounds Quark and the Ferengi.
And Odo, yes.
And Odo is great too.
Their fight.
Odo is great too. Odo's fan. I love. Like I said, Odo. The elevator episode
stuck in the
is still one of my favorite
Really?
episodes for Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And of course, they got the Trouble Tribbles too. But one other thing that I really liked with Deep Space Nine was the what's it called? The Grand
Nagus.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
When the Grand Nagus,
my boy.
It's
I'm so happy to see you. It's for your brother Rom.
How did we get onto this?
I don't know. But,
So I
yeah.
usually, with such a great storylines, I usually watch Star Trek every night just to try to help me relax, go to bed, because
Yeah.
I know the story. It's going to be a good ending, or not necessarily for DS9, but it's so Avery Brooks is such a powerful actor. I love, and there's talks of him potentially coming back for a new series like Picard or something.
No.
Yes.
I thought he wasn't interested.
I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing, that the potential is there, that they're really approaching him and really pitching it. So
Really
I don't
like
know.
Cisco.
I don't know. He's a powerful actor, and I'm loving him
He
more
is
and more.
good.
So it's so powerful.
You got to push through season 1.
Push through season 1, whatever.
But then
Cisco,
he's good from there
Oh
on
my
out.
gosh! Like the other night, the episode I was on, he turned around and like the Kai that he hates, Kai Wynn, showed up at the station, and it was the first episode directed by a cast member. Because I'm reading all the IMDb per every episode,
okay.
right? So it was the first episode directed by a cast member, and it was his. And he only had one scene, and it was when Kai shows up in his office, and he just turns around. And he has that baritone, and he just says, and at this point, he already knows that she's a snake, right? So,
Yeah.
So he says, Kai Wynn, I didn't know you were back on the station. And like they exchange these low, very subtle barbs, and he's got all the venom in the world. Like somebody he's acting to, he hated whomever it was he was thinking about on that set that day. Boy, he loathed them, and it shows up on camera.
He's
God,
good. He's good.
See, that's power. None of these kids in Cobra Kai have that. None of them. Not even close. Like the acting on
To
Star
be fair,
Trek.
what season of Deep Space Nine was this?
This was season 2.
Okay.
3. No,
Okay.
the Dominion hasn't come into it. I think it's season 2.
Okay, never
Avery
mind
Brooks
then.
is just good.
Okay, he is
and
good.
He brought the power right from the beginning. Like the first episode is crap.
So last night,
But anyway, about last night. So I'm watching Star Trek, or normally I would be, but last night I was so amped about that episode of them
great.
going back to Okinawa that was what I turned on instead to go to sleep. And I loved it.
you talked about the ice scene. Go ahead.
I did talk about the ice scene. So the ice blocks that they have to chop in Karate Kid 2 to show their manliness, and cut through. And Daniel cuts through what, 5? Is it 5? No,
I think so, yeah.
No, 5 blocks of ice or something
Yeah.
like that. I can't. I need to watch Karate Kid 2 again. And you need to watch it with me again. And but then they did it's beautifully shot the way they did the camera with the close-ups lens, and it's just the ice. They put the ice blocks down and they get me just enough and excited, so I sit up on the couch and I'm like, oh, it's the ice blocks, and then they pull back and it's just they're getting ice for their tea.
That's how they chip their drink.
That's how
Chip
they
the ice
their
into their
ice for their drinks.
I just
Come on.
recalled what Mr. Miyagi said. I need to, because before someone's gonna
Oh,
watch,
yeah.
someone who knows too is gonna misquote me. He's like, Mr. Miyagi, can you do that when he's breaking that log? He's like, don't know. Never fight tree.
Never been attacked
Never
by
fight
tree.
That's what he said. That's what the line was. I just realized that.
Yes.
Man. So yeah, Karate Kid 2, much better than you thought it would be. But that's the best part. The fall out of your seat moment is at the end of that episode.
But
Because who shows up?
no. But on that same vein, real quick though.
Oh, no, go ahead.
That's what I loved the most about this is that they turn it on your head so often, and the super fans know what's coming. We know that there's a very good chance Terry Silver might show up all of a sudden, and then they tease the hell out of you, and they do the Vietnam flashbacks.
Well,
and then you've
back to Okinawa.
Okay, but back to
Hold on.
Okinawa, yeah. So you get the ice cubes close, and then they switch it on you, and then they get silver, and then you switch it on you, and then what are you getting at?
Now,
Chosen, yeah,
shows up at the end.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
And that's how they end the episode.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
He just walks in.
He's
and
there.
Oh my God, I forgot how they did it because we watched them so close.
I know we watched them back to
so
back.
sequentially.
We watched them back to back.
Okay.
Now, good stuff so far.
All good.
And then it gets to the next episode, which you still love, where Chosen is.
He's so angry.
He's so angry in this, and
He comes
Kumiko
in-
was the one who invited them.
Yeah, she
'cause he's
called
changed,
him.
and she wants to show
And
Daniel
he
that.
shows up and he's like, oh, "Can I buy you a drink?" This is kind of awkward.
No.
I don't drink.
I don't drink.
He's like, "Well, let me get you another drink." He's like, "I get it."
I get it.
He's
like,
yelling at him
Yeah.
and just
Very
just
angry.
straight up.
This
like,
is the man that they fought to the, almost
to the
they
death,
fought to the death
right.
to.
And they played that to the hilt, and it was wonderful.
And then he takes him to the dojo of his old sensei,
dojo,
who was
yes.
also, if you remember Karate Kid 2, folks, was taught by
Dun, 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 dun.
Miyagi's father.
Yep.
And so they were brothers at once. They become friends again. Chosen eventually, after what we find out what happened after Karate Kid 2 with Chosen. Okay. Don't really have to spoil that. But eventually he comes around because Hondo, who is it? Who's the other sensei? I can't remember. Miyagi's
Sato?
friend. Sato. Excuse me. Sato. Sato kind of brought Chosen back and kind of put him under his wing, forgave him, and said, hey, you need to forgive yourself.
Uncle, right, yeah.
And taught him again. So, but there's a new... Miyagi. One thing that Miyagi hid from Daniel because he didn't want him to know it.
You cannot take our sacred scrolls.
Yeah, which is nice. And Chosen shows him that.
Yep.
Shows him the move. It's the nerve endings.
But he didn't show him the scroll. Do we wonder if
that's what he gave him.
I know, but do you think that that's what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it was.
So we got a new crane kick.
Yeah, we have a new crane kick move that we know we're going to see at the end.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
And disables your opponent. Yes. And it doesn't hurt them. It just disables them so that they can't fight.
Yes.
So. And then of course
Miyagi
they do the fight
style.
where Chosen gets Daniel down on his knees, about to attack him the same
live
way.
Or die, man.
Honks the nose and then totally starts laughing. You should see your face. You're like, and Chosen's doing
how much
comedy.
Fun he had doing that. Yes,
and that's you see a brand new because you've never seen a light side of Chosen.
The dichotomy between his angry self that was all he was in part two, and then the actor got to come in and play both roles. He got to be angry Chosen, but then he got to be lighthearted, and it was wonderful.
I've totally forgot. Now that we're through with it, which were great. The Okinawa episodes were really great.
Oh my God, yes.
I forgot that. Is it Bobby comes back?
Or Dutch.
Dutch comes back? No, Dutch is the one that wouldn't come back.
Bobby died, so it's one of the other ones. I can't remember who now. I can never remember his name.
But anyway, one of the other ones from season 2 comes back, one of his old biker gang people, the one that's a pastor.
The pastor.
And he's good. He's good. He's only in maybe one or two.
He's only in a couple.
He's only in just brief scenes with Johnny. But it's fun that they asked him to come back.
Oh,
they asked them all to come back for just one episode. But I guess they really liked him, or he really liked doing it, so they brought him back for a few more. And you look at his IMDb, it's nothing but Cobra Kai.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he doesn't even have any old pictures of him from Karate Kid.
My goodness.
Well, back then he had hair. But anyway, so it's nice to see him.
No, Dutch was the angry blonde one.
Dutch was the angry blonde one. He is actually a pastor now.
Okay, and he's the pastor.
He is done with Hollywood, but he thanked
back.
everyone. He said he had a great time, but he's not coming back.
Okay.
He politely turned them down. Because, they even had John Kreese call him, everyone from the cast called to, hey, look, we'd really love to have you.
That's fantastic.
And he said, guys, I love the show. I love have great memories, love the show, but I'm really done with that life.
Wow.
That's respect. They all respected it. So that's why Dutch is in prison. And that's how they wrote him off. He's in prison.
Yeah.
So
either way.
But anyway,
he comes back, and that was really one of the highlights of the first 4 episodes. Like for me, like maybe one of the few. Like he was in the beginning.
We should also mention the actor that played Bobby did die, passed away the year before. They dedicated the first episode
to him.
Nice. I did not know that he had passed away. I guess I just missed that. That was sad. So, but he was sick when they filmed the episode.
Yeah, which is what great timing that they actually got a chance to do.
They got him in there.
Yeah.
Which is really good. That was really nice you dedicated an
episode. Good for him.
Dedicated
that he got to do that. That's how wonderful.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. It goes off on top, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was a great episode. One of the best episodes from season 2.
Oh my gosh,
we really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
the whole episode was really good.
Great reunion.
That was Johnny kind of getting back with his gang again, kind of getting his center.
That was on my checklist of things I wanted to see.
Yeah.
When the show began, I was like, I want to see Johnny with his old buddies again and see where they all are and what they're doing in life. And then that was absolutely on my checklist.
So we get a John Kreese background story, which gave us the old switcheroo, because we know that he was friends with, according to Karate Kid 3, Silver. And you think you see someone that looks very good, very much like Silver.
He's rocking the ponytail.
He's rocking the ponytail.
He's got the big smile.
Silver. They won't call him anything but Ponytail.
They call him Ponytail.
But then we
that's gotta be him.
But then
that's
he
gotta
dies.
be him. But then he
and you're
dies,
like,
and you're like, what?
And then you're like, what? And then you realize, and he goes, "Shut up, Silver," is what the sergeant says.
Realize.
And you realize the wimp, the scared wimp, is Silver. Great switcheroo, the best one. You get to see why how John Kreese became John Kreese.
And yes, and I love. I can't give you enough about the switcheroos. Like, I'm so excited and about how they've done it from start to finish.
Good.
Like, even the very last episode when Johnny is wearing the white coat and you see the spaghetti being made, and they deliberately in the Encino Valley, in the Encino Resort, they shot a scene just for the spaghetti. Like, the guy leans over to the chef and says, make sure that spaghetti's good and hot. Yeah. And you can see it coming because the superfans know we've seen the spaghetti on Daniel. And then he gets close, and then he said, "Hey, man, watch it. Don't you do it?" And then it's over.
And here's
they switcheroo on you again.
And here's the deal. Not to be mean, but I don't think hardly any Karate Kid fans, or most of them have only seen the first movie. Some have seen the second movie, and not as many have seen the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going hard on the third movie.
They really are.
They're really going hard. And the thing is, though, to do that whole Silver thing, just one-off mention. One time his name is mentioned.
Yeah.
To let you know it's Silver. They don't let it go any further than that. And why? Why? Because a lot of fans don't even know who that is. I actually looked it up right before we went on. There's a, we know who Kreese was calling at the end. Who's Kreese calling? We know. Here's the answer.
What do you mean who's Kreese calling?
Well, yeah, of course you know who Kreese is calling. But they don't know who that is. They don't know the significance of that.
Most people have
forgotten 3.
Oh my gosh.
So they don't know. They didn't get what that story meant.
And it's just so naturally coming. Like, of course that's Silver.
But
and we got excited.
The super fans know.
Yeah. And the super fans knew about the spaghetti. The new super fans knew about the ice blocks. Then stuff like that coming. That's great.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the big check mark. I had 2 check marks I wanted.
2 check marks.
And Elizabeth Shue was the check mark.
She was the big pretty smile check mark number 1.
Hold my breath until they started showing pictures of her on the Facebook page with Johnny. That's when I knew they had her, because you can't show an image of her without getting a contract.
Right, I guess
so
you're right. Yeah,
at that point, I knew it was inevitable she was coming. She comes. She's in the last 2 episodes. She's great.
She is.
It's hard. I just finished watching her on The Boys. She is an evil woman. And
I've been advised not to watch this show because
it's going to destroy you a little bit, because I'm in love with Elizabeth Shue, and that movie,
still
in that TV show, she's just wicked evil.
Yeah.
And now she's here trying to play lovable Abby. I'm like, no, I know who you are. You're awful woman. Yeah.
No, you're not. We love you, Elizabeth. Please come.
No, I'm just saying from her other character.
Yeah.
But anyway, she comes back, reprises her role, and
nails it.
Everything about it is wonderful. She and Johnny, it's wonderful. The whole. In fact, I told you right before we started the episode, I said, what's the name of this episode called? Feel the Night. Which is the song that was playing during Danielle and Abby's date.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, and then I'll be honest, they did do something I didn't think they would do. They kind of explained the events of the very first 2 minutes of
the
Karate
first 2
Kid
minutes of Karate Kid 2.
Well, we should say not 2 minutes. That was the after. But the first scene with Daniel.
The first scene with Daniel, he comes in his prom suit or whatever he's got on, and he's like angry about Allie and what she did, and she wrecked his car, and she kissing on some other guy, and he's throwing a temper tantrum, and then Mr. Miyagi reaches down and fixes his car. How did you do that? And he drinks the chocolate milk, and then he nails the thing in one hammer. And I can go on about Karate Kid 2. How do you not like this movie?
But anyway,
they gave us Allie's side of that story.
Allie's side of the story is different. She did not just dump Daniel. Daniel overreacted. She egged him on.
Like he does.
And she egged him on.
Like she would.
And so he thought, okay, well, she left me for a football player.
Because she's a rich girl.
And I'll be honest, it bugged me. In fact, that's probably one of the big reasons I didn't like
Karate Kid 2?
I didn't like 2 forever, because Elizabeth Shue wasn't there, and Elizabeth Shue dumped him. I thought there's no way she would dump him.
Right. And she got a 30-second write-off. Done. Yeah.
Because she wasn't in it. But they even made a joke about, I hope you didn't tell him that I wrecked the car.
Yeah, they just straight up.
That's just great.
I told you those brakes were going to go out. And they did.
It's great. Yeah. It's great. So they did a good joke about it. They do good stuff about it. They reminisce on the movie and then things that didn't happen. Stuff outside the movie, that stuff happened in the past. But there's a lot of fun stuff. And I'll be honest, Daniel LaRusso's wife, I can't remember her name right now. She's good. She's good.
Is she,
I like her. She's fine. No, I like her.
She's gotten better.
I like her.
But she's
fine with me.
Forgettable for the most part.
Oh no, I loved her in season 1. When they're outside fighting in the backyard, say, "What are you doing?" And she makes them sit down and eat breakfast together.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character writing, but I put her in the same acting category as the kids.
Oh wow!
Because because it's forgettable. Like I don't care.
Wow.
And it's so I can see them almost like looking off to the side to check and see if the camera's rolling, like when they're acting and as they're recording. And then for some of it's interesting because the acting as well correlates into the fight scenes even, because when they're doing the big choreographed fight scenes, the kids who are the weaker actors are also the ones who put their hands up way before the kick ever gets there, you know, and they're rolling through the choreography in their heads. And I get it. You can only do so much, but the stronger actors are also by far the better fighters, and they're really fun to watch.
And I should mention the throwdown scene at the end, with the kids, really good fight choreography there.
The choreography is great. Don't get me wrong, it's great.
We have some great fight. Johnny and Daniel both go after John Kreese, which is great.
And we kind of called that halfway through. Yeah, we
kind of knew that was coming. But the thing is, it was great. It paid off really well.
It really went great.
Paid off well.
Could have been done wrong. I mean, it could have gone wrong in several ways, but they paired it up perfectly.
And it seems like season 4 is the last season. That's
what
they're
like.
This is their. It's all in after this, which I'm fine with that. I'm fine. It can't go on forever.
No, I can't.
Can't go on forever. Now, of course, he calls his buddy
John
Silver, who's hopefully
Is it John Silver? No, it's not John.
It's not John.
It's something
Silver.
else Silver.
It's something. But anyway, he's coming back, hopefully for the entire season.
Hopefully,
because
I just wonder.
Kreese needs someone to go up against. So Johnny and Daniel. See, because Daniel would hate Silver just as much as Kreese, probably more. Because
You're probably right.
Silver tricked him.
He did.
Now, I should mention there is a moment. It's a great moment where Daniel takes his daughter back to the All Valley basketball court. The gym.
Yes,
and, he takes her
and they do
like,
the flashback.
Yes, Dad, this is where you beat
This is
Johnny.
where you
We've heard this a
won.
billion times. Like, no,
this is where I almost lost to fear.
Yeah. And that's he's calling back, and they do show
Karate Kid 3.
Karate Kid
Mr.
3.
Miyagi's big speech, pumping
and
him
Mr.
up.
Miyagi's feet speed him up, and how he was afraid of that kid who's going to beat him up and everything. So they talk about 3, and it was a different lesson this time. The lesson was not letting fear. Balance was the first lesson, and then fear. And now there is kind of, we're we've come 360 now, because now his daughter's dealing with fear.
And I remember
so
when you and I first started watching this in season 1, they dropped a Karate Kid 3 reference, and we were so excited.
I want to tell you something even more. We talked about this when we saw the movie in the first 2 episodes. We gave our first thoughts, and then we gave our check boxes of what we wanted.
Oh, did we?
And one thing I told you that I wanted, and we laughed because we knew it wasn't going to happen. I said, and 3 is going to be included in this. 3 is going to be so impactful. And I was making a joke. And I apologize. We did mention this. We did laugh about it in season 1 that they actually threw some stuff in.
Yeah,
the events of
really
season
quickly.
3 impact. It impacted.
And we were like, okay, they're establishing Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 are canon.
Yeah, for what happened when 3, Cobra Kai got banned from the tournament.
Yeah, and then they kept it.
And so they kept that in there. I was like, well, shut up.
Yeah.
And so now that we're actually, it looks like we are
it's
getting
a heavy duty part 3.
Full fledged Karate Kid 3 sequel.
Right.
That makes my heart happy. I was joking when I said that. Because I said there's no way they're going to bring Silver or any of those over-the-top goofy characters. And Mad Dog Mike, I think was his name, the kid from the last one.
Yes.
But
what was
anyway,
the girlfriend's name in part 3? You remember?
I don't know.
She's the only one we haven't seen yet.
If they bring her back, she's kind of forgettable, but I guess they should for one episode since they're bringing
everyone else is back.
They should.
Bring her
You're
back.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. They should bring her back. Oh, we don't. Oh no, she left. She leaves him at the end. We already know what happens. They never get together. That always bothered me. But
interesting.
Anyway, though,
did you know that the actor who plays Silver in part 3 as well? Like, he kept asking the director over and over, "Is this too much? Is this too much cheese?" And he's like, "No, more cheese." And he kept doing it bigger and bigger villain. Yeah. Like, he just was the whole over the top the whole time. And that was him. The director. That was all the director wanted him to do. That, so.
That's fine.
Yeah,
but I'm willing to have him come back, because the thing is, I remember when
What do you mean you're willing to have him come back?
I'm willing to have him come back.
You would adore him. You would do anything for him to come back. I remember I said, you've got Allie back. You're done. Right. Now you need Silver back.
I need Silver back. I need Silver back now. I'm going full
And will that be the whole list?
As a kid, when I grew up, when I saw 3 for the first time, I thought it was the best one of them all. I was a kid.
I mean,
I didn't realize how over the top it was. And then when I first rewatched them all, I knew the first one was my favorite, but 3 was my second, and then 2 was down below.
Wow.
Because I hated 2. I rewatched 2. I was like, oh, that was much better than I thought.
Yeah.
And I said, well, wait till 3 comes in, because 3 is going to just go over the heel on. Because I just remember he just got beat down, and it was a fight. And then I was watching, I was going, oh, oh, this is not good. Oh, this is bad.
This is bad.
And I've become endeared to 3 over the years.
I mean,
and
so have I.
as a joke, after we watched Karate Kid 1 in theaters a long time ago,
Yeah.
I told you, I said, well, tomorrow we got to watch 2 and 3. You went, I don't think I've ever seen 3. We watched 2 together.
And I had
We
forgotten
loved
most
2.
of 3. And I had seen it,
we-
but forgotten
yeah,
almost all of it.
And we watched 3, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be part of the canon, you guys. This is very important. You got to watch this. It's very important. And yet now it is
It's
key to the story.
unbelievably key to the story.
But all 3 of them have been key. They incorporated 2 a lot more this season than they ever have.
Oh, I agree,
And
yeah.
good for them.
and it was wonderful.
It's good for them.
I am speaking probably as one of the biggest fans that I know, clearly not over you, but just about anybody else I know. Karate Kid 2 is wonderful, and I adore that movie.
Yeah.
And they truly did do it
Yeah.
some serious justice. It was great.
2's had their moment. Now it's 3's time to
And
shine.
probably my favorite cameo show up surprise from part 2 was the little girl he rescues from the bell.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
In the
yeah.
typhoon, because she shows up and she says,
And she happens to be.
we've
I forgot to mention this
because
yeah.
he said, "Oh, I don't know if I remember you. I'm sorry." And he says, "Well, I was a little girl, and it was in the middle of a typhoon." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
And now what does she do?
What goes around comes
she's,
around.
She's VP in sales for
But
Toyota.
I thought of
or
that
whatever.
too, because in part 1 is when they do the whole what's going around, coming around, and then Allie, as he's running out, he puts the water hose on Johnny and the skeleton,
Yeah.
and he runs out, and Allie says, "What's going on?" And he says, "It's coming around."
It's coming around.
And then the good comes back to Daniel
comes- yeah.
30 some odd years later.
Saves his business.
Saves his business, and this little girl's like, "I'm about to save your business," and
Yeah.
it's like, "Well, I guess it's a good thing that I saved your life." Like,
Yeah. It's great. It's great. It's
It
great.
was fantastic. I
great.
was so excited to see that. And then they do a brilliant, wonderful homage, loving job with all of the cut scenes.
Oh, yes, they did.
They
Absolutely.
introduce her. They say, it was during a typhoon. Bam, cut to that
Show the
scene.
scene.
And but it's not overdone. And
No,
it's
they don't
like,
stay
it's
too
so
long. They don't
quick.
stay
They
too
don't stay
long.
too long. They never stay too long, and it's wonderful. It's perfect.
It's-
It's just enough to remind you what's going on and what happened. Oh yeah, and
It's
you
a-
have these epiphany moments.
It's an amazing series.
I'm so happy with it. I could not have been happier with the way all of this is turning out.
It
Like,
really
I was
is.
a little nervous with these first 4 episodes of season 3. I was
Yeah.
thinking, okay, they sold to Netflix and now things have changed and something's going
Well,
wrong. But now I've
this
been
was still
corrected
YouTube,
in
yeah.
this. Yeah, in this podcast. I've
Next
been
season will
corrected.
be Netflix money,
It'll
but
be
I
hopefully
think they'll
the
get
same
more
writers and
money.
everything.
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
They're not going to screw it up. This is their last season, I
All right.
believe.
All right.
And we're going to see 3. We're going to see Silver. We may see Mad Dog Mike, the person who gave Daniel fear for the first thing. He's going to, because now that Johnny's basically, it ends with he and Johnny kind of teaming up now.
Right.
So that rivalry's done. So he needs a new
but
rival.
No, we know that can shift within the first 30 seconds
know.
of season 4.
I know. But anyway, what I'm saying, I think they're going for the end game.
I
now.
agree.
I think this is the end
I
game.
hope
now.
so, but
And,
we'll see.
And I'm ready for it to end. I'm ready for it. I think it's been great, but I'm ready for it to.
I've seen everything I wanted to see.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. Do we have anything left on the checklist
Besides
from
3, yes.
aside from Silver, which
I'll-
we know we're going to get now?
I'll slip my wrist if they pull Hillary Skank in there.
No, let's not even ruin this podcast by talking about the
You
next
notice
Karate Kid.
that's the one movie
They've completely avoided
they've
all mention
completely avoided
of
and
anything past 3.
I'm happy.
Anything past 3, they've completely
Because
avoided any
in my
mention of.
mind, it ended at Karate
Look,
Kid 3.
that's the way that we feel about Indiana Jones, right? 1,
Right,
2, and 3,
right,
and then
right.
you're done. It just
And you're done.
You'll be finished.
So, I don't
that's
think...
fine, and everybody agrees on
and they
that.
haven't made an effort. They don't have to, because that's not Daniel's story. So maybe they'll just lightly leave that off. I don't think Hillary Swank would come back.
There's
for
no
that either way.
need for that. That's
But no,
egregious.
that's what I'm saying. That's
See, like,
reaching too far, and I don't think
that's
they need
reaching
that.
too far. Like bringing back the little girl from the bell tower
great.
rescue.
Well, it's
That
2.
is beautiful. But
rewarding
reaching
people who love 2.
that's finding everyone from every movie
Yeah.
and every
Yeah.
little key scene
3
and
is
key
it.
moment.
3's all we need, and we're good to go.
And then you're done.
We're
And
good
it's
to
great.
go.
So, is there anything left then on your checklist to see?
Well, of course, I need to see Silver now.
We have to see him,
That's it.
and that's it.
Well, they're going to wrap it up. We already know they're going to wrap it up.
Well, sure.
Everything else has been fine, but is there anyone else? I mean, we got to see his mom in season 1, and
She
that
was
good.
wonderful. I love seeing her again too.
I would love to see her again. Actually, I would love to see the
Well,
mom
she,
again.
She
The
needs
mom's
to
a great
be. She
character.
needs to be there in the end.
She's a great character. But okay, other than that, if they do or they don't bring the girl from 3 in, I don't care.
Yeah.
She's not as memorable
She wasn't as lovable
as
as
Silver.
Kumiko.
I would like to see Mad Dog Mike or whatever his name
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Mike, the bad
the guy
Mike
who
or whatever.
scared him, right?
Yeah, that dude. Maybe that'd be fine. But other than that, I think it's in
I'm
good
gonna
hands.
assume
I'm excited
that-
to see what.
I'm going to assume that the actor who played Sato is probably passed on by now, but
I'm assuming so. They would have showed him.
yeah, in that
definitely would've showed
episode. But somehow he would have been my only other thing, like you Miyagi, like this. Give me one of those is all I would have needed. That would have been on my dream checklist. But,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if he's,
Oh,
I don't
man.
even know if he's still alive, but
I don't. I think if he was, they would do.
but then
everything
they've done
in
the
their power
great
to bring
stuff
him.
with golf and stuff. Like they went back and we got to see Johnny's date with Allie this time at golf and stuff. And I really want to go back and watch it, and I want to compare it to the movie because I think they went scene for scene, exactly recreating Daniel's date with Allie.
Maybe
and,
so,
And then at the
yes.
very end, they just changed it to cell phone camera pictures instead of the photo booth, which
yeah.
I thought was perfect.
No, everything
Like,
about it.
oh,
Everything about it's rewarding.
How wonderful that they've done this show, these movies, so much justice and wonderful, wonderful revivals. So many other movies or TV shows and series can do this now. They can follow this formula of these brilliant movies from the 80s that we love so much, or any time period, really, and just make it great.
So all in all, we're very happy with season 3.
I'm thrilled, like, no matter what we get for season 4.
We're ready
I'm
for season
thrilled.
4. Ready for that Netflix money to pour in so they can do anything and everything they want to. Feel their heart's desire. Go out on a bang.
Just don't drag it out too long.
I don't think they will.
Predictions then. Who wins the All Valley tournament?
Oh, I mean, Kreese has to go down.
He has to go down.
But then it's Robbie versus Miguel. It's the
You
final
think that's going to be the big
showdown.
jump up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk is going to beat the bully,
Okay.
but fall to Robbie.
Yeah, okay.
Robbie's going to take him out. Miguel's got to fight someone. I don't know who, but Miguel will fight some. I don't know. Do they have a runner-up on Cobra Kai? Besides Tori, they really haven't built anyone else up. But
Well, I mean, they've got a whole season to do that.
I know. They have a season, but eventually it would come down to Robbie and Miguel.
Of course, it'll come down to Robbie and Miguel, no doubt. And then with Kreese going down one way or another.
And Kreese is going to go down. I mean, Cobra Kai has to fall.
It's
I
great,
guess.
though, that they've established Kreese now as your full-on villain, you know, because at first, remember, it was like, is Daniel the villain? Is
Right,
Johnny
is
the
Johnny the
villain?
villain?
Like, what's going on? But now you've got Kreese.
Now we have
like,
focus
You've got a focus
for the
to
season.
do, like a classic storytelling trope,
Yeah.
which is
And-
great.
And we're ready for this.
And you have a reason to, but also you and then they almost had a little bit of redemption there when they did the Vietnam flashbacks, and then his captain was like, "We're saved, pull me up," and he killed his captain straight up, and he's clearly established as your villain now.
Yeah, that's the art for Kreese.
Yeah,
That's the art for Kreese. So I don't know. I'm trying to look it up now. When the 4th season.
I don't know if they would announce that yet, would they?
I mean,
Don't they gauge the reaction to the recent season first, and then see how much money they're making?
it's been renewed for another season, but it doesn't have a start date or anything like that. At least when I don't.
Well, they're
don't see
probably
it.
not filming anything yet because of COVID
Well, yeah.
too. Wow. Oh man, that stinks. That means we may have to wait a long time because of the debacle that was 2020 in the acting industry.
Fans who have devoured the 3rd season may want to stream Karate Kid 3.
Yeah, they
before it
might
comes
want
out.
to. There's a
Yeah,
lot of good stuff in there. But look, they word that properly because you might want to stream it, but just go into it eyes wide open, realizing that you're going to get some epic cheese, and it's great and horrible at the same time.
Oh, okay. So they've already written it.
What?
They've already written it. October 23rd, 2020 was the final day of the season 4 writers' room, they said.
Oh.
So it's already been
So
written.
it's written and done.
Yeah. They want to start filming as early
Wait a minute. They
as
finished it in October of 2020?
they finished writing the 4th season.
Wow.
They've already written it. They know where they're going to go. They want to start shooting early this year. But of course they can't tell. So it will debut late 2021 or early 2022. Preferably they need
My
to bring
money
it out.
is on
They need to bring
January
it
of
out.
2022.
It's gonna be probably, but they need to bring it out into this year because the kids are getting old, quick. So as fast as you can. But overall, we'll definitely both be watching it, and I can't wait for season
No
4.
question, and I can't wait for it too. This has been an absolute delightful trip, and I can't wait for it. But you're right. I don't want it to go any longer. I'm glad that they're done with it. I'm blown away by the fact that both of our checklists for everything we would have possibly
We've gotten
wanted.
so much.
Imagine
that we're good.
as kids, like being in love with this movie and watching it over and over again and thinking to ourselves, what if we had a TV show? This is what I would want to happen. I feel like everything that would have happened did it. So, like, thank you to
and
these
it happened
creators.
better than I would have written it, probably.
So much better than I would have written it. And it was great. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we trust these people who write the show. We trust them completely.
Absolutely.
Who write, direct, create the content. I trust them completely. 4 is going to be great.
Would you trust them with any of your beloved series?
Oh, from now on out,
movies,
yes.
Because of the honor
Yes.
and the trust and the respect that they gave to Karate Kid, you would give them a Star Wars trilogy or something like that, or you'd let them do the Grand Admiral Thrawn trilogy or something.
They could. But it'd be controlled by the new canon. So
I go there. So you're right.
But I mean, you look at some. I mean, now I'm looking at other '80s franchises. I mean, heck, what are the kids from Fright Night doing? Or I mean, we're looking at Monster Squad.
Back to the Future has 3 movies.
Still has nards.
Monster Squad.
I mean, there's
my name is Horace.
See, there's.
Hey,
I don't
fat
know.
kid.
I would really. I think if I was Netflix, I'd hey, what other '80s movies
Seriously.
did you like?
Yeah,
That you want to do
That's
a TV
exactly
show
what I was
for?
getting at.
I told you one I really loved, Last Starfighter.
Oh my God, Death Blossom, bring
He's
it
back.
on.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh,
And
that
it's
would
his
be
son,
wonderful.
His son, he doesn't tell him who he is. To hide his son from his enemies, he puts him on Earth with an adopted family. But then he plays a video game
And then
accidentally gets recruited
by the Star League.
By the Star League, and he didn't know that he was trying to
defend
keep
the
his son
frontier
away
against Zur
from
and the
this
Kodan
war.
Armada.
He was trying to keep his son away
I
from this
would
war.
lose my mind if they make a Starfighter show
That's
like
next.
this.
I'm telling you.
Oh boy,
That's next.
I am all there for that.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. All right, folks, that's it.
Saturday morning, Samoflange in the books.
Yeah.
Done.
So,
Karate Kid.
yeah, go
Cobra
see
Kai.
it. Go see it.
Go watch it. Love
Go
it.
see it.
Enjoy
And
it.
We'll see you next time.
Adore it.
Saturday
Keep crying.
morning.
Samoflange.
Oh, yeah. Eagle Fang Karate.